Hello and welcome to That British Homestead. Today, I thought I'd talk you through the wonder of seed saving. This year, I've told you guys I'm going to absolutely smash the seed saving. And to be honest, that is what I have been doing. So I have been, try as I might, saving as many seeds as possible. And there's so many benefits from saving seeds that, to be honest, I cannot believe I haven't been doing this for much longer. I started saving seeds a few years ago, and it gets more and more addictive. And the more seeds I'm saving, the better it is. And there's tons and tons of reasons why. And I thought I'd go through them for you today, whilst I go ahead and save some bean seeds. Now, I save so many bean seeds that, to be honest, some of them I go ahead and cook because I have so many of them, and it's really nice having your own organic, like properly organic, because the ones that you buy in the shop still have like all sorts of chemicals used on them, but these ones have had literally nothing, so they're super good and they're super lovely. And I was looking at this website the other day, and it said that dried beans were one of the things that soak up like lots of pesticides, so it makes my sort of peace of mind. So I thought I'd go through them today. So saving seeds is free. Of course, you have to start off buying the seeds. I literally can't remember the last time I bought some sorts of seeds, like garlic. People ask me all the time, "Oh, where did you buy your garlic from?" I'm like, I don't remember. I bought it like years and years and years and years ago, so I don't actually remember where I bought my garlic or what variety it was. I know I have elephant garlic, but one of my friends just asked me, "Where did you get your elephant garlic?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know, offline." It's because I tend to save them each year, which has worked out amazingly. However, like each year, like I'm spending absolute fortune on seeds. And I got to the point where I was like, right, why am I spending a fortune on seeds when I'm buying the same seeds each year? I'm going to try to save them. So I started saving bean seeds because they're really easy, and pea seeds and sweet pea seeds, etc. And I found it so simple to do, just that I've now started having like a little collection of seeds, and honestly the seeds are super easy to produce because, like, especially when you go for things like bean seeds, etc., they are very hard not to get the bean that you want. You have to choose an open pollinated variety, but mostly we do heirlooms because they're the weirdest. I really like growing weird seeds. However, if you start really like small, it's very easy to do. Like one tomato that you've saved and made sure it doesn't cross pollinate, honestly, will produce thousands of seeds, and you'll have enough seeds for like ever. But each year you can go ahead and save seeds. So you can give those away, and it'll be great. Self-seeding also saves time. I'm doing this with lots of my flowers. I love spreading the seeds around. I've got a dahlia outside my house, and I always grow my dahlias from seeds, and I happily let them spread because they're gorgeous. So the more I have, the merrier. So self-seeding, not only do I not have to bother doing anything with it, but it also means that every year I'm getting stronger and better plants that I don't even have to bother with. I love a little bit of volunteer plants, as you know, and when I do get a volunteer, I try to save it as much as possible, because I just think what a convenient, wonderful thing that's just popped, like literally fallen into my lap. So I always try to do that. So it makes it good. You eat better because you eating food that are more nutrient dense. My partner always brings up this study about peaches, about how I think it was one peach a day is like 7 peaches back in the day, and that's because we are losing our nutrients from using chemical fertilizers and stuff like that. So being able to breed your own seeds and keeping a organic stock is super important, especially when we live in a day and age where organic seeds are really expensive, and still you don't know exactly what's been sprayed and put on them to make them how it is. You get to actually control exactly what's going into your food chain, which is super important to me personally. Also, you get like a more vibrant array of fruit and vegetables, which I find super exciting because there's so many different minerals and vitamins in the rainbow of colours that you can get, and I really enjoy being able to get really weird examples of them. And sometimes it takes forever to track down a seed, and you only get about 5 seeds in the packet, which would be super expensive. I think I've paid, like, if my boyfriend's not listening, like £5 for like 5 seeds before, because they're really expensive, especially with tomato seeds when you get into the rarer varieties. Now, when I get that, like, if you have them 5 seeds, that's 5 plants. Now you can save seeds, and I can turn them 5 seeds into thousands of seeds. Do you see what I mean? So therefore, I'll have absolutely no issue with saving those seeds and keeping them, and being able to grow generations of seeds from then on, which will be really good. And also, if you save your own seeds, the germination of those seeds is so much better. So they have such a higher percentage of germination than if you buy them. Mostly because they are younger. You know how old they are. They're only going to be a couple of months old by the time that you go ahead and sow them. And they've born and lived in the same environment, which gives you an advantage. Every single year, your plants that you're going to be growing are going to be more and more adapted to the climate and conditions of your area. So you can be like a better gardener because your seeds are more durable to your climate, which means that each year it will be less difficult for them to adapt to your local conditions. Fewer generations are needed also, so it's really good, especially when you look for varieties like I do. I absolutely love some of the tomato varieties that I get from America. Okay, and obviously the American climate is so different from the British climate. Okay, and especially when you get large beefsteak tomatoes, one of my favourites, by the way. But these beefsteak tomatoes grow in really, really humid, hot places in America. So we have to grow them in greenhouses. Now, I was actually able to grow a very, very large plant and very, very abundant amount of Dr. Witches outside in the UK. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I keep those seeds so that next year I'll have an even more climatized version of that seed. And every single year, you're going to get a stronger and stronger and stronger plant that is more likely to thrive in your area, on the basis that, well, it was able to live and you pick the best plant to take the seeds from. Okay, not the one that's struggling, obviously, but the one that's really thriving. And then each year you'll be able to hone them genetics and be able to get something that's really resilient to your area and your local climate. And it will slowly adapt over time. We know that things, life will out, survival of the fittest. It will eventually adapt to what we are, putting it through, and that'll be really great. And we'll get a more robust plant that's able to fight off illness and bugs, etc., and like go through droughts and things like that, and it'll really, really thrive. We have like issues here in the UK with like a shorter season, and it can get quite chilly, etc., etc. And I have to say that my tomato plants that I grow at home and I save them, I've done super well compared to, even, like, I'm telling you, my allotment is 2 miles down the road, and they do not do as well 2 miles away, because each garden, like my front garden and my back garden have microclimates, and they're completely different from each other. The pests are different, etc. Also, it's more sustainable. The thing I like about gardening is that I don't have to go to the shop as much, especially in the summer, and going to seed shops all the time to get my seeds, I feel like I'm quite dependent on them, especially when, do you remember during the old COVID, we had a lot of shortages of crops and seeds and things like that. But this way I'm able just to have whatever I want, which has worked out super, super, super nice. And it means that I have a diversity of all the crops I can have in future generations. And I tell you, I saved sweet corn for the first time this year, and I'm telling you, I am shocked A, how much sweet corn I was able to save, and B, how easy it was to save sweet corn. My goodness, it was like falling off a log. It was that easy. So there's no way I'm going to go back to ever buying sweet corn after I went ahead and saved it, and it was ridiculous. I saved enough for like literally hundreds of people. I saved 3 ears of sweet corn. I actually saved one, but I accidentally missed 2. I still need to cut them down, don't get me wrong, I see. So I had 2 of them saved over. So I'm going to give one to my mum, who will use it. She started off a little garden, and I'm going to keep one for myself, and I'll probably give the other one away. But that means that I'll be able to share that with my friends, and it did so well this year, my sweet corn. So that was really exciting, and I was able to cob them and freeze them and all of that sort of jazz, which was super, super cool. So I would absolutely love that experience to do next year. I'll probably even get better sweet corn next year, which will be super exciting. And that's why I genuinely love being able to store and actually save seeds. I've saved tons and tons of cucumber seeds this year. I actually netted them so that they weren't mixing, and I'm hoping next year they will be even better than they were this year, because once again you pick the most vibrant and strong growing plants. Lots of my friends from Eastern Europe, their parents have saved seeds for generation, and they've actually got seeds in their families that have been there for hundreds of years, which I just think so cool. So when they give it to you, it's like a really big gift. And I know that places in America and things like that, they save seeds, and that's what heirloom literally means. Heirloom means handed down generation by generation by generation, and there are always new heirlooms being made, don't be wrong. But it could be something that you hand down to your children, your children's children. And I just think that's absolutely epic. And I would love one day to have a bunch of seeds and hand them to my daughter and be like, well, this is my legacy. And she'll probably look at me as I did to my grandma and gone like, oh, thanks for that, and stick it in a drawer. But we all know that after a few years, when you get them under the belt, you do start gardening and stuff. Well, that's how I found I didn't fall into gardening until I was like in my mid-20s. Before then, no interest at all. I actually I had black fingers than anything else. But now I absolutely adore it, and I would have loved to get some of the seeds that my nan did, because she was a avid gardener, and that's where I think I've got it from. Out of all my brothers and sisters, I am the only one that gardens, but my nan was an avid gardener, and she was so talented, and it would have been lovely to have something that's handed down. So it's something that will be left behind, and I think that's just so very interesting. Well, in my humble opinion anyway. Yeah. I'm also going to be saving some of these sweet potato slips. I'm super excited about that as well. Sweet potatoes are maddeningly expensive to buy. I bought 5 plants and they were about £10. So I would love to be able to produce slips from them and produce even more sweet potatoes, and I don't know how well they've done. I'm actually going down there tomorrow to harvest all my sweet potatoes, and fingers crossed, guys, that I'm going to be getting a decent amount. I'm very impressed with how much food we were able to save this year, believe it or not. I was dead impressed. So I'm going to do a video very, very soon showing you everything that we've been able to store within a year, which will be super exciting. Can't wait to make a video and compare it to last year, but I still have lots of stuff to harvest, so I can't do it until we've actually finished. So it will probably be the end of October, beginning of November, before we get everything in for the winter, which is super exciting. That's not counting all of the stuff we're eating on at the moment. I mean, I've got like a cabbage, and we've got loads of vegetables in the freezer and stuff like that. So we are rich when it comes to a harvest. We are blessed. And as it comes round to harvest time, which is very soon, it's a celebration that we have here in the UK, I'm feeling it, and it's lovely to reflect and think about it. And one of the most important harvests that I've done this year is my seed savings, and I am thankful for them. And I hope that you have a go and just save seeds recklessly and save seeds periodically, and just see what happens. Even if you don't do it correct, you never know what will happen. You might get something even better. Every single new variety started off as a random genetic mutation, so it's always worth a go. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like content like this, please go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.